Tracy's investigation unveils a shocking deception. The truth about Monica's sister Ronnie. The halls of the Quartermain mansion have witnessed countless schemes over the decades, but none quite as audacious as what's about to unfold. Tracy Quartermain, with her razor-sharp instincts and decades of experience dealing with con artists, is about to expose one of the most elaborate deceptions Port Charles has ever seen. The seeds of suspicion. From the moment Veronica Ronnie Bard appeared at Monica's crypt, claiming to be her long-lost sister, Tracy's radar has been on high alert. Something about Ronnie's timing felt too convenient, too calculated. Why would Monica's supposed sister surface only after her death, when she had 50 years to make contact? Tracy's initial confrontation with Ronnie revealed telling inconsistencies. A woman claiming sisterhood yet knowing surprisingly little about Monica's life as a Quartermain. The red flags multiplied during Monica's will reading, when Ronnie inherited not just sentimental items, but the entire Quartermain estate, including the mansion at 66 Harborview Drive. While everyone else gasped in shock, Tracy's mind was already racing, connecting dots that others missed. How could Monica leave her life's legacy to a woman she'd never mentioned in decades of family conversations? The investigation begins. Tracy's investigation starts methodically, drawing on resources that only a Quartermain matriarch could access. She begins by scrutinizing the letter that Martin Gray claimed to have found at Drew's residence. The supposed correspondence between Monica and Ronnie. Something about the timing bothers Tracy. Why would this letter surface now, and why at Drew's place? Her first breakthrough comes when she examines the handwriting more closely. Tracy realizes she's seen enough of Monica's correspondence over the years to spot inconsistencies. The letter's writing style doesn't match Monica's typical patterns, and certain phrases feel forced, unnatural for someone who knew Monica intimately. Tracy then digs deeper into Ronnie's background, using private investigators and her connections in high society. What she discovers sends chills down her spine. Veronica Bard has a criminal history, involving identity theft and elaborate cons targeting wealthy families. The woman has made a career of inserting herself into grieving families, claiming long-lost relationships to gain access to inheritances. The Drew connection emerges. As Tracy's investigation progresses, she uncovers the most shocking revelation of all. Drew Kane's involvement in orchestrating this elaborate scheme. The pieces fall into place with terrifying clarity. Drew, bitter about being shut out of the Quartermain family and desperate for revenge after his affair with Willow destroyed his standing, had been planning this con for months. Tracy discovers financial records showing payments from Drew to individuals with expertise in document forgery and genealogical fraud. The scheme was sophisticated. Drew had hired professionals to create a believable backstory for Ronnie, complete with forged documents, suggesting she and Monica were separated as children in the foster care system. The investigation reveals that Drew had been monitoring Monica's declining health. Knowing that her death was inevitable, he used his insider knowledge of family dynamics to craft a story that would seem plausible. Two sisters separated by circumstances, one reaching out in her final year. Drew even arranged for the fabricated correspondence to be discovered at his residence, giving Martin Gray the perfect opportunity to contact Ronnie and set the plan in motion. Unraveling the deception, Tracy's most damning discovery comes when she traces Ronnie's DNA sample from Monica's memorial service. Using her connections, she arranges for independent testing that proves definitively that Ronnie and Monica share no biological relationship. The woman claiming to be Monica's sister is a complete fraud. But Tracy doesn't stop there. She digs deeper into Drew's motivations and uncovers evidence of his broader scheme to gain control of Elk and the Quartermain fortune. Drew's plan was diabolical in its simplicity. Use Ronnie to inherit the estate, then manipulate her into granting him control through a series of legal maneuvers he'd already prepared. Tracy discovers that Drew had been feeding Ronnie information about the family for months, coaching her on Monica's history and preparing her for every potential question. He'd even arranged for forged medical records, suggesting Monica had been searching for her lost sister in recent years, creating a paper trail to support their fiction. The truth about Monica's real will. Perhaps Tracy's most shocking discovery is that Monica's actual will had been replaced with a forgery. The real will, Tracy learns, left the mansion to Michael Corinthos, just as everyone expected. Drew had used his connections and Martin Gray's access to legal documents to substitute the fake will, timing the switch perfectly with Monica's death. Tracy uncovers evidence that Drew had been planning this for over a year, carefully studying the family's legal arrangements and waiting for the perfect opportunity. He'd even arranged for certain family members to be absent during the will reading, ensuring fewer witnesses to potential inconsistencies. The investigation intensifies. As Tracy closes in on the truth, she realizes the full scope of Drew's betrayal. This wasn't just about money, it was about destroying the Quartermain legacy out of spite. Drew had been systematically undermining the family from within, using his position as Monica's grandson to gather intelligence for his scheme. Tracy discovers that Ronnie isn't just a hired actress, she's been Drew's accomplice in other cons, targeting wealthy families across the country. Their partnership goes back years, with Drew providing inside information about potential targets while Ronnie executed the deceptions. The dramatic confrontation, armed with irrefutable evidence. Tracy prepares for the confrontation that will expose Drew's scheme and restore the Quartermain legacy. She carefully documents every aspect of the fraud, from the forged DNA evidence to the fabricated correspondence, building an airtight case that will not only expose the truth, but ensure criminal charges. The revelation promises to shatter the family's trust in Drew permanently, while vindicating Tracy's instincts about protecting the Quartermain inheritance. As she prepares to confront both Drew and Ronnie, Tracy knows this exposure will send shockwaves through Port Charles, revealing the depths of Drew's corruption and his willingness to destroy his own family for revenge. This elaborate deception represents one of the most calculated attacks on the Quartermain family in their storied history, making Tracy's investigation not just about reclaiming property, but about preserving the very soul of the family Monica worked so hard to protect throughout her life. Next, we will learn about the explosive paternity drama swirling around Dr. Portia Robinson in Port Charles, where a surprise pregnancy is threatening to unravel her already fragile world. As the chief of staff at General Hospital, Portia has always navigated high-stakes medical crises with poise, but now she's facing a personal crisis that could redefine her relationships and reputation. Whispers among the hospital corridors suggest that Portia's unexpected pregnancy, confirmed during a routine checkup, has her second-guessing every decision from her recent past, especially as the timeline aligns suspiciously with her heated affair with the enigmatic Dr. Isaiah Gannon. Portia's marriage to Curtis Ashford has been on shaky ground for months, ever since Curtis's gambling issues and emotional distance pushed her into the arms of Isaiah during a vulnerable moment at a late-night hospital fundraiser. That impulsive night of passion, fueled by champagne and unspoken frustrations, was meant to be a one-off escape, but now it looms large as Portia stares at the positive test result in her bathroom mirror. Curtis, still reeling from his recovery after the car accident that left him temporarily paralyzed, has been pulling away, confiding more in his ex-wife Jordan Ashford about his fears of inadequacy as a husband and father figure to Trina. This growing closeness between Curtis and Jordan spotted sharing tense, but intimate conversations in the park adds another layer of betrayal to Portia's dilemma, making her wonder if Curtis would even want to rebuild their family if the truth came out. The timing couldn't be worse, as Portia's recent heart-to-heart with Isaiah replays in her mind like a bad dream. Over coffee in the hospital cafeteria, Isaiah, the brilliant trauma surgeon with a reputation for charm and caution, expressed doubts about pursuing anything romantic, citing the hospital's strict policies against inter-staff relationships that could lead to HR investigations or favoritism accusations. He mentioned how a colleague was once reprimanded for a similar entanglement, losing out on a promotion, and vowed to prioritize his career after years of climbing the ranks from a small-town clinic. Portia had brushed it off then, but now, with the pregnancy tying them together biologically, his reluctance feels like a cold shoulder. If Isaiah decides to distance himself further, perhaps by requesting a transfer to another department, or avoiding her shifts, Portia might be forced into a corner, contemplating the unthinkable, concealing the child's true parentage, to shield everyone involved from scandal. Echoing a dark chapter from her history, Portia's temptation to lie about the baby's father mirrors the devastating deception she orchestrated years ago with her daughter Trina Robinson. Back then, Portia hid the fact that Curtis was Trina's biological father from both Curtis and Marcus Taggart, Trina's assumed dad, weaving a web of silence that exploded when the truth surfaced during a custody hearing. That lie not only fractured family bonds, but left Trina grappling with identity crises that still echo in her art school pursuits and budding romance with the mysterious Kai Taylor, the artist whose secretive past raises red flags. Fans are buzzing on social media about this potential repeat, with some theorizing that Portia could fabricate medical records or delay a paternity test, claiming the conception happened during a brief reconciliation with Curtis. Yet, in a town like Port Charles, where secrets rarely stay buried, think of how sunny Corinthus is hidden. Affairs always boomerang. This cover-up could invite even greater chaos. From hospital gossip to legal battles over child support, Isaiah's magnetic pull on Portia was undeniable from the start. His quick wit during emergency rounds and supportive demeanor after Curtis's outbursts made her feel seen in ways she hadn't in years. But his pragmatic side, honed from navigating a competitive medical field as a black doctor facing subtle biases, has him weighing the risks of entanglement. Imagine Isaiah confiding in a mentor about the rumors, only to be advised to steer clear, leading him to cancel their planned weekend getaway and focus on a high-profile research grant instead. This shift could leave Portia approaching him under the guise of professional consultation, dropping hints about her stressful personal matter without spilling the full truth, hoping to gauge his willingness to step up. The tension builds as Isaiah notices her fatigue and mood swings during shifts, perhaps misinterpreting them as burnout rather than pregnancy symptoms, which only heightens Portia's isolation in the bustling her. As Portia's world spins, the push and pull with Isaiah introduces a riveting dynamic that could either forge an unlikely alliance or drive them apart forever. If his interest truly signaled by polite but curt responses to her texts, or avoiding eye contact in the hallway, she might find herself leaning on old friends like Dr. Hamilton Finn for emotional support, unaware that Finn's own romantic entanglements with Elizabeth Weber could complicate loyalties. Fan theories abound. Some predict Isaiah will sense the urgency and demand answers, leading to a clandestine meeting in the hospital's rooftop garden where confessions fly. Others fear Portia's secrecy will confirm his worst suspicions, prompting him to confide in Stella Henry, Curtis's sharp-tongued aunt, who might inadvertently alert the family. This uncertainty amplifies the drama, as Portia juggles morning sickness with leading team meetings, her mind racing with visions of a future where the baby unites or destroys her circle. Delving deeper into the familial fallout, this paternity puzzle threatens to reopen wounds for Trina, who's already navigating her own turmoil. With Kai's possessive tendencies mirroring Taggart's overprotectiveness, Trina's recent gallery show, featuring paintings inspired by her fractured family history, drew praise but also painful questions from attendees about her complicated roots, forcing her to confront the lingering pain of Portia's past lie. If Portia repeats the pattern, claiming the child is Curtis's to preserve a semblance of stability, it could shatter Trina's hard-won trust, especially as she bonds with her half-siblings through Curtis's side. Curtis's flirtations with Jordan witnessed during a charity event, where they danced a little too closely, further erode any chance of easy reconciliation, potentially sparking a bitter divorce where custody becomes the battleground. Jordan, ever the detective, might uncover clues through subtle investigations, like checking Portia's appointment logs or noticing Isaiah's changed schedule. The specter of a custody war looms large if Isaiah discovers his role as a rising star with financial stability from his private practice side gigs. He could assert paternal rights, demanding DNA tests and visitation that upend Portia's life. Picture heated courtroom scenes with Scott Baldwin as Portia's lawyer, clashing with Diane Miller representing Isaiah's interests, while Port Charles buzzes with tabloid speculation from Crimson Magazine's latest issue. Fans are cringing at the parallels to Portia's Trina deception, where years of silence led to explosive revelations during a Metro Court gala, alienating Marcus and straining her bond with Curtis. Will Portia summon the courage to come clean early, perhaps during a vulnerable moment with Isaiah in the on-call room, or let the lies fester until a routine ultrasound reveals irrefutable evidence? The stakes are sky-high, with her career on the line if hospital ethics committees get involved, probing into staff romances and potential conflicts of interest. In the heart of Port Charles, where love triangles and hidden truths are as common as the harbor fog, Portia's journey promises gripping twists that could redefine alliances and shatter illusions. As she contemplates her next move, Mabe confiding in a trusted confidant like Felicia Scorpio for unbiased advice. The community watches closely, from nurses' station chatter to online forums dissecting every clue. This pregnancy isn't just a plot point, it's a catalyst for redemption or ruin, forcing Portia to confront whether history's shadows will eclipse her chance at honesty. Next, we will learn about the electrifying buzz surrounding Spencer Casadine's potential comeback to Port Charles. A twist that could ignite the canvas just as fans are craving more fireworks. In the romance department, Spencer, the brooding heir to the infamous Casadini legacy, vanished from the scene after a dramatic yacht mishap that left everyone believing he perished in the stormy waters off the Greek islands. But soap opera magic often defies death, and recent whispers suggest his return is brewing to shake up the status quo. With his signature mix of charm, recklessness, and deep-seated loyalty, Spencer's reappearance would thrust him back into the heart of Port Charles drama, particularly orbiting around his ex-love Trina Robinson, whose current entanglement with the enigmatic Kai Taylor is testing the limits of viewer patience. The groundwork for Spencer's revival seems tied directly to the escalating tensions in Trina's love life, where her relationship with Kai, a brooding artist with a shadowy backstory, involving underground art dealings and vague family secrets, has grown increasingly volatile, complete with heated arguments at the floating rib and mysterious late-night disappearances that hint at hidden agendas. Imagine Trina confiding in her best friend Jocelyn Jacks about Kai's possessive streaks, mirroring Spencer's own jealous tendencies from the past, only for this rift to widen into a full-blown crisis, perhaps triggered by Kai's discovery of an old love letter from Spencer tucked away in Trina's sketchbook, prompting a confrontation that echoes the fiery passion Spencer once brought to their romance. Fans have long speculated that such a powder keg moment could serve as the perfect catalyst for Spencer's heroic swoop in, arriving disheveled but determined from his supposed watery grave, ready to reclaim his place and expose Kai's flaws in a way that reignites old flames. This setup not only heightens the stakes for Trina's character arc, but also allows for layered explorations of trust and redemption, as Spencer grapples with the guilt of his prolonged absence, while piecing together the fragments of his survival tale involving rogue Casadini operatives who staged his escape. One tantalizing scenario fans are dissecting involves Trina facing an unplanned pregnancy with Kai, a plot point that would catapult Spencer back into the fray, with a dramatic declaration of enduring love, potentially derailing any commitment she might feel toward her current beau. Picture Trina, overwhelmed by the positive pregnancy test during a tense gallery opening where Kai unveils a provocative exhibit inspired by their turbulent bond, only for Spencer to materialize in the shadows, his eyes locking onto hers across the crowded room, as he whispers confessions of missing her every day during his isolation on a remote Mediterranean hideout. This twist draws from classic soap tropes, amplifying the emotional turmoil as Trina weighs the stability Kai offers rooted in his grounded artist persona and promises of a quiet life, away from Port Charles Chouse against the whirlwind adventure Spencer embodies, complete with visions of jet-setting to Casadini estates and unraveling international intrigues. Adding depth, the pregnancy could introduce medical scares at General Hospital, where Portia Robinson, Trina's mother, uncovers ultrasound anomalies that force family interventions, pulling Spencer deeper into the fold as he offers unwavering support, his presence a stark contrast to Kai's initial panic and withdrawal. Such a development would explore themes of unexpected parenthood and young adulthood, with Trina's artistic soul torn between nurturing a new life with a predictable partner, or embracing the uncertainty Spencer's return promises, all while fan forums explode with debates on whether this child would symbolize hope or heartbreak. Another pathway to Spencer's return hinges on Trina's potential engagement to Kai, a milestone that soap writers love to sabotage with 11th-hour interruptions, positioning Spencer as the ultimate disruptor who crashes the ceremony with raw emotion and unresolved history. Envision a lavish proposal at the Metro Court rooftop under the stars, Kai on one knee with a ring etched with artistic motifs symbolizing their shared creative passions, only for Spencer's voice to cut through the applause like thunder, proclaiming his love hasn't faded despite the oceans and ordeals separating them. This scenario allows for inventive layering, such as Spencer having forged alliances during his absence with unlikely figures like Ava Jerome, who funnels him insider info on Port Charles happenings, or even a secret correspondence with Trina's father, Marcus Taggart, who senses Kai's unsuitability and subtly encourages Spencer's timely intervention. The engagement plot would delve into Trina's internal conflict, her journal entries revealing dreams haunted by Spencer's memory amid Kai's steady but uninspiring courtship, perhaps highlighted by lackluster dates at the park where conversations stall on mundane topics, like paint supplies rather than the profound philosophical debates she once shared with Spencer. Fans adore this trope for its high drama, predicting confetti-strewn chaos, tearful recriminations, and a chase scene through the hotel corridors that ends in a rain-soaked embrace, underscoring the enduring pull of first love against the allure of security. While the idea of original portrayer Nicholas Chavez slipping back into Spencer's tailored suits seems slim given his commitments to other projects like indie films and theater runs that demand his full focus, the door remains cracked open for a recast that could inject fresh energy into the role without missing a beat. Casting directors might eye rising stars with a similar brooding intensity, perhaps a newcomer like the versatile actor from recent Netflix dramas, who could capture Spencer's aristocratic edge while adding a modern vulnerability, ensuring seamless integration into ongoing arcs like the Casadini family power struggles involving Valentine and Charlotte. This recasting could even serve as a meta-plot device, with in-story explanations tying into Spencer's disappearance as a cover for plastic surgery, or identity shifts to evade enemies, allowing the new face to debut with built-in backstory depth. Such a move would honor the character's legacy while adapting to real-world logistics, much like past GH recasts that revitalized fan favorites, sparking renewed interest through chemistry tests with Tabyana Ali's Trina that promise electric on-screen sparks. Social media is ablaze with GH devotees voicing their unfiltered takes on Spencer's hypothetical return, a chorus of excitement tempered by critiques of the current Trina-Kai dynamic that's left many hitting fast forward. One vocal fan tweeted, "Spencer storming back sans any baby drama. Sign me up. Trina and Kai are like watching paint dry, but the bad kind that peels off the wall," highlighting the perceived lack of spark in their scenes, where dialogues often meander through art critiques without the pulse-pounding tension Spencer's escapades once provided. Another commenter piled on, "If it's Kai's kid pulling Spencer home, hell yes. Every Kai moment drags like a root canal salad concept, zero charisma. Whether it's the script or the delivery, it's a snooze fest," pointing to specific episodes where Kai's gallery monologues failed to engage, contrasting sharply with Spencer's high-stakes adventures like the Nurses' Ball showdowns. Echoing broader sentiments, a user posted, "Tabyana shines brightest in empowerment tales or mystery hunts, not forced baby bumps and triangle TD of Trina a solo arc chasing art thieves, or something fierce," suggesting untapped potential in storylines where Trina leads investigations into Port Charles's underbelly, perhaps linking to Spencer's return via a stolen Casadini artifact. The wedding interruption fantasy dominates discussions, with fans quipping, "But Spencer crashes the altar right as vows are exchanged." Classic GH gold tuxedo ripped from his survival saga, stealing the spotlight from Kai's bland best man toast, envisioning a scene laced with callbacks to their Paris getaway and helicopter chases. Yet, skepticism lingers about the writer's penchant for youth-focused pregnancies. As one observer noted, "These scribes can't resist knocking up the 20-something gope. They swerve to Spencer reclaiming Trina through adventure, not diapers," critiquing recent arcs that prioritize domestic drama over the globetrotting intrigue Spencer's lineage demands. Additional reactions flood threads, like Trina's wine fest with Kai kills the vibe, bring Spencer to remind us why we tuned in, with recaps of their steamy Venice fling, urging a revival that honors their chemistry while evolving Trina beyond corny quarrels into a force reckoning with Casadini shadows. These voices underscore a collective yearning for Spencer's disruptive energy to rescue the narrative, transforming dull dalliances into a saga of second chances and seismic revelations. At its core, the question of Trina and Spencer's reunion hangs like a cliffhanger, with endless possibilities branching from their shared history of trials, from the courtroom betrayals to the island exils that could culminate in a heartfelt reconciliation, or a bittersweet farewell. If Spencer returns amid Trina's crossroads with Kai, it might force her to confront whether her heart truly moved on, or if the Casadini prince's magnetic pull remains irresistible, perhaps sealed with a promise ring hidden during his exile. Inventive theories posit Spencer arriving with proof of Kai's deceptions, like forged documents from his hideout investigations, paving the way for Trina to choose legacy over limbo, whether through pregnancy revelations, engagement upheavals, or raw romantic interference. Spencer's shadow looms large, poised to redefine Trina's path and captivate Port Charles once more. Keep eyes peeled on this channel for the latest scoops as these threads weave tighter cooled. Spencer be the spark that reignites the fire?